Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to use Visual Studio Code, or VS Code for short, in terms of Python programming. In this video we'll cover the basic functionalities of VS Code as well as some of the essential extensions you need to make your Python experience a lot better. So first things first, you need to install VS Code even. So let's head over to the official website. I've already got it installed, but I'm going to talk you through the process. So the official website is code.visualstudio.com/download. Now I've got Windows, so I'm going to download for Windows. It's going to download for me. It's talking about different extensions that I could use. Now Prettier is that I will come to these extensions in a second, but it's downloading for me. It's just taking a second. Click on it once it's downloaded. It'll open up. Setup has selected that Visual Studio Code is currently running, but basically that's your process. Follow it through, get Visual Studio Code running. The second thing is you need to check you have got Python installed. So if you haven't already got Python installed on your machine, just go to python.org, click on downloads, again click on the downloads for Windows. It might say it for Mac, it might say it for Linux, it's automatically recognised that my computer runs on Windows, so it's only offering me the Windows element. Now if you're new to Python, there is quite a lot of Python docs that you can have a look at. So there's a beginner's guide if you wanted to have a look at one of those. Let's just go back and look at that section. A beginner's guide, and it will talk to you about getting set up, how to start going through it all, what all these elements mean. But we are going to cover quite a lot of them in this course anyway, so I'll just take a step back. So once you've got Visual Studio installed, open it up. Now first things first, you're probably going to want to mess with the theme. I do it every time. I have a personal preference now, and that theme has been there for a while. Just click on the little cog down here, choose theme, and you can literally search. You can also add additional theme colours. My favourite at the moment is Dracula, that's a tongue twister. But you can choose from either one. I'm going to stick with that. So pause the video, get your theme sorted, that's the priority we've got going, and then come back when you're ready. So the next things we need to do once you've got your theme sorted is we need to install some Python extensions so that we can actually use VS Code for Python, because VS Code is not the natural environment for Python, so we have to make sure that we can install things that help it become the natural environment. So we click on these little building blocks, click on the extensions, and we basically just type Python. I know I've already done it, but I'm going to do it along with you. Click on Python. We need to install Python, so I'm going to click on that little install, and we need to install Python for VS Code. Are you sure you want to install it? Yes, I do. Oh, it's no longer being maintained. Okay, we'll install it anyway. That one's new. I already have a Python extension pack, so this includes things like being able to have some of the extensions already installed without them having to install them automatically one at a time. So I've installed things like auto docstring, I've got Ginger, I've got IntelliCode. One of the things I would recommend is Prettier, I think it's called. That one, Prettier Code Formatter. It basically formats my code for me. Now, it doesn't really work much in terms of Python, but I enjoy having it there. So Python Preview has also stopped working as well, which is a bit of a letdown. But anyway, so those are the type of things we need to start. Now, the next thing we need to do is make sure that we have got a Python section running. So let's go to New File. So I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to create a Python file. Okay, so it knows I'm going to be Python. Now I'm going to save it. So File, Save As, and I'm just going to save it as test. We'll test it with test4.py. Changed it into a Python file for me. So let's just have a look at this. So we need to test it's working. So let's just do print hello world like that. So that means we can check if it's working. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to say run Python file in terminal. Now ignore all that stuff at top, but this is the section we're looking for. So if I go, yeah, so this is the stuff we're looking for, the hello world. Now if I change that to hello YouTube and then did the same thing, again, it prints it out to the screen for us. So we now know that Python is working and it now works. So one of the great features of VS Code is it has a built-in debugger. So if I did something wrong, say for example, I forgot to put my little question mark, my little closing bracket, it would tell me there that I've got my closing bracket and it would tell me how to fix it. But say that I didn't get that far and I just went straight to run Python file in terminal, it would tell me, not in a very nice words, but it would tell me that there's a problem, a syntax error. And normally that is when I need to do something like that. Now, if I forgot to do my little speech marks, it already would tell me on there, and the colours would tell me something's wrong. But again, here it would tell me what is wrong with my kind of elements, or what have I done wrong. So at this point, I would be looking at hello YouTube, but what is wrong? And then I would automatically recognise that I've forgotten to put my quotation marks. If I run it again, all is correct. Now there is a breakpoint that comes with Python. I don't necessarily use it for Python. A breakpoint is basically where you can pause execution. So once you've clicked run, you can pause the execution and allow it to inspect the program's current state. To set a breakpoint, we would click on the left hand side of the line number. So like for example here, I've clicked on a breakpoint there, and then I would go to run menu at the top and I would go to start debugging. And I would choose Python file because that's the one I'm working with. And it would basically run it for me. It's got to install a few things for me to get there first. And it stopped at my breakpoint, okay, and it's going to let me view things. Now, because I haven't, I'm going to click stop and I'm going to show you a different element. So I'm going to copy this a few times. And I'm going to take my breakpoint from there and put it down on line 3. And then I'm going to do the run start debugging. And it'll start debugging for me. And it's only printed out 2 of the hello YouTubes. So the first one, the second one, and it stopped at the third one. So this is really useful if you have got some errors in your code and you don't necessarily know what the problem is. It lets you run your code line by line so you can debug it and try and find the error yourself. It is quite useful. It can also be quite annoying at times, but it is very useful. So just bear in mind that there are 2 ways to debug this program. So I'm going to hit the stop button and I'm going to remove that, and then I'm going to run it normally. There we go, and we should have all of the elements of hello YouTube, and that has worked perfectly fine. So the next thing that we're going to look at, so now we've covered some of the basics and you've got a general idea of how to set Python up, how to kind of get things working. We're going to look at some of the basic extensions that we can use. So let's talk about the essential extensions. So we've already talked about the fact that you need Python. So the reason you need Python is it's the official Python extension for VS Code, and it provides syntax, highlighting, code completion, debugging, and many other features that you will need. Now, auto docstring, I have already got installed as part of the extension pack. So if I do Python, so as part of the extension pack that I've downloaded there, I've already got the auto docstring there. So this extension automatically generates doc strings for your Python functions. It can save you a lot of time and effort. I've also got Jupyter installed, I think. I'm saying I think. Python. Oh no, it's not Python, it's Jupyter. There. So yeah, I've already got it installed. So Jupyter is an extension, allows you to run Jupyter notebooks within VS Code. It's great for data analytics and exploration. Pylance, I don't think I've actually got this one installed. Oh no, I do. I have them all installed. So Python, so this Pylance, this extension provides advanced type checking and code analysis for Python. So it can let you catch errors before they actually start causing problems within your code. So those are the 4 basic or essential extensions that you need inside your VS Code. There will be more, and you will find that the more you play around with Python and VS Code, the more extensions you will need. So Python comes with all of these extensions already built into them. So Python indent, there is loads. Some of them I've not even thought about even trying out yet. So like Python coding tools, Python snippets, extension pack 3, loads of them. Anyway, but you can play around with these as you need to do them. But for now, those are the essential ones that we are going to need. So Visual Studio Code is a powerful tool for Python programming, as we've seen. It comes with, if you include the right extensions, it can make your coding experience much better. We have covered some of the basics of using VS Code, including setting up the Python environment and using the debugger. We've also created pretty much the first element, the first program, the hello world in VS Code. With these tools at your disposal, you will be on your way to becoming a proficient Python programmer in no time. Thanks for watching and happy coding.